it's hard to find credible roofers.
Right. Well,
they do have a reputation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Roofers and drywallers. Saw somebody up with a pressure washer on their roof.
No, that's probably one of the worst things you could do.
And I was up there on the ladder, and I was like, geez.
Save it to the professionals to go up on the ladders. First one to win 20 games wins a half an hour.
Half an hour of what?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Good answer. All right, well, back with another episode. Today I've got a special guest. It's Dennis Munro with 3D Established Roofing. And, well, we got to know each other fairly well last year because you guys did our roof on our house. So welcome, Dennis. We're talking all things roofing today.
Well, thank you for having me.
What's a bit of your background?
Well, I came to Nanaimo about 6 years ago and got into roofing sales. And when I did, I was working for another company, and so were my now partners.
Yeah.
So as we worked, we found that we can do things better, and we like to do things our way. And so we ended up forming our own company, and my partners are Daniel and Devin, so we came up with 3D.
Right, the 3Ds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So officially, you guys, how long has this company been going now then?
We've been a limited company for 2 years now,
Okay.
but we've been working together for about 5 years.
Oh, right on, right on. So, and why roofing? How'd you get into roofing to begin with?
Oh, that's an interesting story. I met my now wife in Mexico over 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And she was actually selling roofing in Nanaimo.
Oh, really?
So during COVID, we came back here, and she says, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, not doing anything else, so I might as well." So that's how I started in roofing, and just went from there. Learned a lot about roofing.
Yeah.
Met some incredible people throughout, and learned everything I need to know pretty much about roofing. I've got the best crew of installers with Daniel and Devin. That's why we formed the company. I've seen maybe 30 different crews of roofers,
right.
And it's hard to find credible roofers.
Right. Well,
they do have a reputation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Roofers and drywallers.
Yeah.
Always get a bad rap. But
yeah.
Your crew, when you did our home last year, which was a pretty big project, we had the cedar shakes on our roof, so they had to go off. And what I was super impressed with was at the end of every day, like the work site was just like, it was clean. You guys didn't leave. You didn't leave with any mess. It was all cleaned up. And there was like a lot of debris, ripping all those shakes off and the nails and everything. And like, I haven't found any nails anywhere. So
great.
You guys did a great job with that. It was,
Yeah,
so.
We take pride in that part of it. We feel like we want to leave the home to the people the way it was before.
Yeah. Well, I've always found too, like in selling houses, and you get a house with like an old deteriorated roof, like the rest of the house just seems to like deteriorate fast. But if you've got a good roof, someone like look after the roof, don't cheap out on your roof, don't leave it too long, because it can cost thousands of dollars, right? Do you find being on Vancouver Island that it creates some other challenges that maybe some of the other areas, across the country wouldn't experience when it comes to roofing?
Lots of moss. I think the moisture too. So basically, it seems like all of Nanaimo and pretty much all the area the contractors used probably, anywhere from 15 to 25 years ago, a pretty cheap shingle.
Right.
And it's good for us, bad for the customer, but good for us because we have to replace them all. And they, they seem to absorb the water. They don't. They degranulate fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw somebody up with a pressure washer on their roof.
Yeah,
there a few weeks ago.
One of the worst things.
That's probably not a good idea.
No, that's probably one of the worst things you can do. People think
just like peels the whole layer off.
Well, yeah, it takes the granules off.
Right.
Okay, which reflect the water. So once those start going off, you'll start to see a shine, and that's not a good sign. That's your fiberglass showing through, and once that happens, and the shingles start to absorb the water, and then the nails rust, and then you start getting leaks.
Oh, okay.
So.
Is it a similar product here? Like, do you recommend different product here? Being like on Vancouver Island, we get a lot of rain and we don't get as much cold versus other areas, or using similar products, as other like locations across the country.
Not really. The one that we use 90% or more on roofs is the GAF shingle system.
GAF, yeah.
Just because the warranty that they
Right.
offer, and we've been certified by GAF, so we can offer this warranty, and it's a 50-year full warranty on it, non-prorated, and then 20 years is transferable. And built right into the shingle is 25 years against algae growth, which is huge because algae is sort of like a moss or a soil for moss,
Right.
So it really is a good shingle for this area.
So why is that? We hear people say, well, I put 25-year shingles on, and they only get like 18 years out of them, or they put 20-year shingles on, they're getting like 15 years out of them. Like, what is that when they're called a 25-year shingle? How does that work, or what is that rating? Like, is that in like optimal conditions, or why are people not getting
Probably.
as much life?
Your shingles could last longer if you do a yearly maintenance on them. Okay, that it's a lot of money and expense to do that. So some people just let it go and replace them after.
Right.
But basically, a 25-year shingle, a lot of times they give you a warranty for 15 or 20 years, and it's prorated after that. So the shingles that I've run across, a lot of people in subdivisions and things like that say, oh no, I've got a 35-year shingle. So we go up and do an inspection, find that shingles have lifted, there's rusty nails, there's degranulation to the extent that there's probably damage to the sheeting below.
Yeah.
But and they think they've got a 35-year shingle, but that's not necessarily the case. It depends on how it's been. Like you say, you saw somebody pressure washing. Well,
yeah, that's going to kill the life.
Yeah. So different things people can do to make the roof last less than what it should.
Does it make a difference now whether it's, say, on the sheeting, like whether it's plywood or like OSB? Like, do you have a preference in that? Does it make a difference?
We only, if there's OSB on there, we have to match. If we're just taking out certain sheets, if we're doing, for example, a cedar shake, I would never put OSB.
Right.
I would always put plywood down. It just doesn't absorb the water like the OSB does, so the moisture.
If there ever is a leak, it's way better.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you put a membrane, like on our house, you put another membrane on over top the plywood. What is that? Like, what exactly is that
it's
doing?
what used to be the old tar paper. It's
Okay.
a synthetic underlay.
Okay.
And it's much more durable than the old tar paper, because the tar paper could rip and then you'd end up getting moisture on your sheeting. So this is way more durable than that.
But not everybody's using that. But is it? I guess it's kind of becoming the standard now to use that, or
it's expense, right? So I mean, if you're going to do it right, because you're investing. The average roof, I'd say we do is $15,000 to $20,000. And if you're going to invest in that, do it properly. Don't skimp out on it. That covers your investment, which in Nanaimo, you're probably anywhere from $500,000 to $1.5 million average home. I'm not sure you know better than that. So to skimp out a few hundred or a few $1,000s at that point is not really worth it.
No, not at all. And then, like, price difference between somebody going with a lower quality to the better quality, I guess, is it a big difference if you're looking at somebody that's, because we always, especially when we're selling a house and it's got an older roof on it, we go and we get a quote for an estimate for a roof, and the seller's like, wow, it's going to cost $15,000, and the buyer gets a quote and it's $25,000. Like, is there, like, there's a big difference there. There's lesser quality, higher quality, like, in terms of what's the biggest difference? There's the length that the roof is going to last, or like?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, there's you can go and get like what we call a truck and ladder guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have insurance. He doesn't have work safe. He doesn't. He uses the tar paper and everything, and there's not much for warranty there. And you can go cheap. I mean, I can't compete with that. I have to pay.
Right.
My crew is our crew. We don't subcontract, so we pay them a fair hourly wage, and we pay WorkSafe and GST and everything else, so we have to charge accordingly. But we're still, I find that normally when I quote, our quote is probably in the best of the companies that offer the same type.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then now you mentioned when we were talking earlier, so you're not just doing roofing anymore too. You've ventured off into some other services. What else do you got that you guys do?
Well, now we bought a gutter company in the fall of last year because we were getting so many requests for it, but the gentleman that we would use for gutters was always backlogged and could never get to it in time. And we have a policy that we usually take $1,000 down on the roof and then the balance upon completion.
Okay.
We like that policy. We don't like to ask for a lot of money up front. We want to have a deposit so it shows that there's an earnest to get
Yes.
the roof done and that. So, but then we'd have to wait for the gutters to get done by Larry. So we ended up buying Larry's company. He was getting in his 70s, and it was time for him to retire. So we decided to work out a deal and bought his gutter company. So now we can do it as well right after the roof is done, get the gutters done, and complete the job.
Do you, as part of the gutters and that, like say like wrapping like fascia and that, do you guys do that as well? Do you recommend that, having the like wrapped fascia like the boards, or are they better to be like exposed like that comb fascia, or what do you recommend on that?
Well, yeah, we do that. It's called cladding, and we do that on the fascias. It's great to do it because even if they're starting to show wear and tear on the ends and things like that, we can clad it. You never have to paint it again.
Right.
There's no maintenance to it after that's done.
Yeah.
So it's a nice clean look.
Yes, right.
In fact, I suggested to your wife that we do your gutters now in cladding.
I know. Well, I don't want to. We painted the last time when we bought this place and painted everything up, and I was up there on the ladder, and I'm like, geez, do I? Yeah.
Save it to the professionals to go up on the ladders. I don't even go up on the ladders anymore. I let the younger guys do that. You know? It's just,
What is there like? What's your like crazy like horror story you've come across in your business? As far as, is there anything that stands out like when it comes to roofing? Come across any like rodents or animals and
we've come across lots of hornets' nest, ants, things like that. I guess the worst one was a house down in the Departure Bay area, and they had 4 layers of shingles on this older house. Turns out the one layer though was asbestos, and that's when we had to get off the roof. We couldn't touch it, and you have to get people with hazmat suits in and everything else. So it gets to be I don't know what it was, $30,000 or $40,000 to remove the asbestos, and so that's a bit of a horror story. I wouldn't want to have a roof like that, but there are some of those around.
Yeah, that's where they roofed over an old layer.
Oh yeah, there's like 4 layers of shingles.
4 layers.
4 layers.
Like, is that seemed to used to be common practice?
Yeah, we get into the older areas and we sometimes find 2 or 3 areas. We just did a house actually that had the second layer was
shakes. Wood?
Yeah.
And they went over it with like asphalt?
Yeah. So in one area, not the whole roof, but one area they didn't bother to replace because it was a hard to get to area, so they just went over top.
They did the easy.
Yeah, you see a lot of that kind of stuff, and that's like your truck and ladder type guy, right? You just, okay, let's do it cheap, here we go,
And is that like how, I don't understand that, why would they not take the old, did they think that, it's better to have a second layer for backup underneath, or
price?
What? Yeah, just price,
disposal is expensive.
Yeah.
So, disposal is going up like everything else.
Yeah.
So, it's, and quickness, I mean, just to go over top, to rip, the old shingles off, and then you got to take the old paper off, and you got to bang down the nails, and then you get started, and then so there's a lot of work just to prep the roof before you put the shingles on. So the price wise and labor wise, it's quite a bit quicker and less expensive.
Right. And then, I mean, now this is probably prime time for you guys. Like, are you doing roofing all year round? Do you guys shut it down in the winter? Like, how much does the rain affect your business?
Probably between mid-November and mid-February, we only do maybe 8 or 10 houses in
Okay.
that time because we have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of house, right? Cedar shakes we don't even touch in
No.
that time frame because we have to take off and then put on plywood. Or
It's exposed more.
it's
Yeah.
exposed. So if, we can do sections of a house and not expose it,
Yeah.
watertight it, shingle it all in one
Yeah.
day. And then, just make sure that there's no issues in between,
Okay.
so.
Yeah. One other question I wanted to ask you is, like, in our business with real estate, we're selling houses. We have a home inspector come in, does a home inspection, and sometimes they'll make comments in the inspection report. Refer to get a contractor, get a roofer in to give further opinion and evaluation of the roof. Is that something that you do?
We
do you
do a
come
lot
back?
of inspections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we do an inspection, we take a lot of pictures.
Okay.
We check to see if there's loose shingles. We found a number of areas where there's been a lot of wind damage, so sometimes that can be covered by insurance companies.
Yeah.
If there's a certain amount of wind damage, and then we check the attic to see if there's moisture coming through, if there's sheets that are all wet and things like that. So. And a lot of times we found ventilation is very poor in these houses.
Right.
The new builds, a lot of 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a lot of them, they didn't
put the venting in.
They didn't put enough venting in
that.
for the roof, which is kind of funny. Not funny, but
Then we see the home inspectors call it organic growth on the inside of the, which is that black mold and that in the attic. Yeah.
Yeah, we see that.
Yeah. So you guys are definitely putting more venting.
Yeah.
There's I've heard there's a ridge cap venting. Is that how does that compare with just putting regular roof vents in?
Ridge cap venting is good if it's a gable to gable.
Oh, okay.
Because if it's all split up and cut up, it's not very good.
Okay.
Then, so gable to gable is where we would do ridge venting or recommend it. But
I see.
When roofs are cut up, which most of them are, it's not really a good candidate for it because you've got to get the different areas. And that's with the venting in there properly. So
if we have a case where a house, we have a home inspection, there's maybe some issues with some of the roofing, needs some repairs, we can get you guys in to take a look. Do you also do the repair as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
we'll do whatever it takes. The only thing we can't do is structural. So if there's a broken, we can sister a joist, but we can't do
framing
and things like that.
Okay. So. Okay, well that covers the roofing segment. I think we covered a lot there. That was really great information. Now we've got some fun questions.
Okay.
So, do you have a favorite restaurant that you like to go to when you go out? So you and your wife, or?
Lots of restaurants. There's a lot of good restaurants actually in town. We like a lot of ethnic ones like Nori.
Oh, okay.
And,
we just ate at Nori a couple weeks ago.
Like Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Lan here isn't bad, and we have one in Nanaimo that's good too. So we like a lot of the ethnic type foods, and depends what we're into.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
We like eating out.
All right. Yeah. Well, so do we. Now, so you're not working. What are you doing in your spare time? You heading to the beach, or you're
swimming?
Swimming. You are in open water, or are you in the pool?
No, open water.
Really?
I don't like pools.
Okay. Where's your go-to? Do you got a secret special
Westwood.
spot?
Westwood Lake, yeah. No, that's, in fact, I brought my swim stuff with me today. I'm going to go swimming for the first time.
Oh, that's going to be chilly, isn't it?
Yeah, I brought my wetsuit.
Oh, okay. Wow, good for you.
But I'm in Mexico 6 months of the year, so I've only missed about a month now of swimming. So
cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right. Okay, you're putting a roof on your house. You going with metal or asphalt?
Probably asphalt.
Yeah.
I mean, metal is about 2.5 times the price.
Right.
So, I mean, if you really want the metal, but with the GAF 50-year warranty now, you're getting 50-year warranty on a metal. A metal roof is basically forever, though, too.
Well, they say that, but I see it. We come across properties with metal roofs that have leaks.
If you get, the older metal have the screws in, and you have to get them re-screwed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so so the hidden screws now is what you go to. You wouldn't go to that type of metal roof.
Right, they're different now.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Next question: are you an early riser, or are you up late at night?
Early riser.
Early riser. So what time? How early are you getting up? What's your morning routine? What are you doing in the morning?
Up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Have coffee. play cards with my wife, beater and rummy.
Okay.
And then hit the computer.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So rummy.
Yeah.
Just for like leisurely, or do you go like in
we
like
do,
in a club or?
No. We play the first one to win 20 games wins a half an hour.
Oh, okay. Wins a half an hour.
Wins a half an hour.
Half an hour of what?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Good answer. Okay, and then your favorite. So you're heading south in the winters. You like it? You like the hot
Yeah.
weather? Yeah. Where about? You go to Mexico most of the time?
Yeah, a little place called Guaybitos, north of Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, okay. Is it like a beach community, or are you inland
Yeah,
a bit?
it's a beach community.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're right on the ocean, and it's about a 2-mile long beach. So it's a great walking beach and a great swimming beach. The water's perfect. The temperature ranges from 24 to 28 every day.
Oh, that's
so,
nice.
You know, it's just a nice, comfortable.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're getting out of the rainy season. You get
Oh,
to
yeah.
stay away from that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
good
leave
for you.
my crew up here, and the guys. I can do a lot of my work from down there, so
Yeah.
it's computer work. A lot of it's estimates. I can measure a house
Yeah.
via satellite, so unless it's covered by trees, and
Well,
then
that's
I'll
pretty
get them
cool,
to
right?
do- yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Like I measured all of your property
Yeah.
by satellite.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool technology. So you don't
Yeah.
have to climb up on the roof anymore,
No.
especially if it's like our roof was. That would have been dangerous up there. All right. So now we get to the section. This is the Walper Wisdom. So where I give my wisdom for the week, and we'll ask you for yours too. But my Walper Wisdom for this week is to get it in writing. And I had just recently an instance where somebody had said they were going to do something. We took their word for it. This wasn't a deal. Didn't write it down. Didn't address it. And now comes to the end, and they're like, "Well, it's not in the contract. We don't have to do it." And so get it in writing. Then it's like it's confirmed. Do you have any wisdom you'd want to share?
I enjoy the business. I've never really had an issue with people paying or anything
good.
else. Like I say, we
Yeah.
only take the $1,000 deposit,
Yeah.
and people have always come through. And
Well,
I
that's good.
just think that we like to do business in an open, upfront way. And if there's ever an issue, we take care of it. And sometimes it's not our issue, but we just do it. It's better to do it, and sometimes we make mistakes. I mean, we're not 100%
For
perfect,
sure.
but
Yeah, nobody is.
we follow up extremely quick, and we feel like our integrity, it means everything to us,
It
and our
does.
reputation. So
Well, and I know like attracts like. So if you have that integrity in yourself, then you're like, attracting people that have similar, right? That's the way it goes. Okay, so if somebody wants to reach out to you, Dennis, with your company, 3D Established Roofing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
probably telephone, text or email, either.
All right.
Those ways.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that your contact information is posted below the video, so people will be able to access that there, so they can give you a text or a call, and they'll get you out to take a look at what their situation is with the roof. And my own personal testimonial, super happy with what Dennis's crew did at our place, and the pricing that you guys came up with was super competitive. We had quotes from 3 different companies, and we decided to go with you. And I was, again, it just, the way you guys cleaned up the job site, did everything, I think that says a lot about the company and your professionalism. And so I'm happy to have you here, and hopefully other people can reach out to you and get you to do their roofs. And so, all right, well, thanks again for watching, and thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the best in the roofing season this year.